I started a campaign last week with a hashtag, let the retirees go and let the young grow. Hashtag, if you have not joined it as a young person who has completed your education, national service, you have done everything, and you are still at home and you have no job and you have not joined it, ono the wara, because the unemployment rate keeps going up. So the hashtag is let the retirees go. Hashtag let the retirees go. Hashtag let the retirees go. Go on Twitter now and tweet it. Let the retirees go. Hashtag let the retirees go. Hashtag Johnny's Bite. Let the retirees go. Hashtag it. Let the young grow. Let the retirees go. And I started that campaign last week. You saw the smear propaganda that 2 newspapers shamefully were engaged to participate in. Now, they had accused and said that we had gone for money to be saying the things we're saying. Maybe they have lost touch with the reality. But the truth of the matter is that I will not stop digging and finding out all the people who are due for retirement who are asking for extra. Yesterday, I showed you somebody who had crossed the constitutionally mandated 5 years of extensions and was still asking for some more. Oliver Twist. More jollof. Today, I'll show you another set. And interestingly, when I spoke about the Immigration Service, I only spoke about the Comptroller General. Apparently, there are others also in the Immigration Service who have gone, have reached the age of retirement, but are marking time. They don't want to go. They're asking for extension. Some have already gotten extensions for 4 years, and they are still hoping and willing and wanting to stay there. Meanwhile, they can't even get, and there are places they are pushing people to where there's no office of the Immigration Service. I'll come to that. I'll play the recording. Maybe not today. But the hashtag is let the retirees go and let the young grow. NAPCO is serving notice that they will hit the street and take the government to court. Why? Because of the same jobs. And you know why I'm pissed about this? I'm pissed about this because I said earlier, I may not have a problem if a retiree is made a consultant. So they are not working directly there, they are working from afar, or they come in as and when their services are required. I may not have a problem with it. But where the person has reached the age of retirement and the person has crossed and the person is still asking for contract extensions, where their children and grandchildren cannot find jobs to do, I have a problem with that. Imagine if we had about 4,000 retirees willingly going home when their time is due. That will create 4,000 jobs at the base. Because if somebody goes, Mokwaya, ni Mokwaba, Achiaya, my father and his friends, Mr. Menz, they had that slogan, Achiaya. Somebody goes up, another person will come. That's how it works. So the top is not choked and the bottom is raised. So even if every state institution had just one person who is due for retirement leaving, you will find that a lot more young people who are now traumatized, who are in pain, will get jobs to do. So I say, let the retirees go. Did you know, and this is what the officers at the fire service are saying. Say, oh, you've been talking about immigration. You've been talking about this. You've been talking about that. You should talk about fire service. Because our chief fire officer is also ready to go. Somebody told me yesterday that the chief fire officer was supposed to have gone in April. And you know, when you serve in the security service, there's what they call the pull-out ceremony. It's a beautiful ceremony. They organize a parade for you. You address the parade. When you are finished, they put you, in a V8 or whatever it is. And then you have senior officers with a rope tied to it with their swords beautifully dressed. And then they pull you out nicely in an honorable way. Honorable way. You have worked for 30 years, 35 years, some 40 years, one institution, and you don't want to go home for somebody else to come. At the time when you started work, some in the 80s, some in the early 80s, some in the 70s, when you started work, at the time when you started work, how old were you? Such that you have even done 30 years, 35 years, some 40 years, some 22 years, some 20, some all manner of figures. And you don't want to go for somebody else to come. So what kind of a country are we building? What kind of a nation are we building that we do not have kind of empathy and sympathy for young people who are roaming. And we always want to be called big man, big man, big man. Then he showed me the newspaper article, the Crusading Guide, and maybe Daily Guide and Chronicle can come and tell the Crusading Guide. It spoke about this in March 2022, whether Abdul Malik Kwekubako has also gone to collect money from somebody. This is what he said. New Crusading Guide, Wednesday, 30th March 2022. Retired Educationist petitions local government minister of unlawful forceful removal of tenants. Okay, that's not the relevant one. It says Akufo-Addo's birthday luck. Black Stars, forget about this. This is the meat of the matter. Time up for top security heads, fire service, immigration, GRA bosses due for retirement. Read it again. Time up for top security heads, fire service, immigration, GRA bosses due for retirement. Colonel Damwa is gone. Colonel Damwa has been showed the way. So why can't the rest also be showed the way? And somebody says, oh, the chief fire officer is still there because he comes from the same place with the interior minister, who is the boss of all the police, fire service, immigration, prisons, NADMO. He's the boss. And they come from the same place, Nandom. I said, I don't want to read tribal sentiments into this one. But if the man is due for retirement, he should just go honorably. This whole concept of having old people sitting at the top and knowing that they are due for retirement and asking for contract extensions is not good. So, Mr. Chief Fire Officer, I beg you in the name of God. The officers cannot speak because they are afraid of victimization. And then they say that the Chief Fire Officer has sidelined a few directors who are effective and have surrounded himself with a few female directors and people they can control. Same thing happening at the Immigration Service. So the real firefighters on the ground, they are crying for operational firefighters as a head. If you have not played football before, you can't coach a football team. Because you have not taken a penalty before. You have not taken free kick before. Somebody has not cut you before, as we say on the park, for you to know how it feels. The men and women are not happy. And I say there are 5 things we cannot politicize in this country. Education is 1. Health is number 2. The economy is 3. Agric is 4. Security is 5. Unfortunately, we have made ourselves stoop so low, and now we are politicizing our security institutions. And we are saying, what? See something, say something. It starts from there. Because we cannot continue having political officers, protocol officers, before we come and have proper officers. We must have proper officers. Finish. So they are crying. So, Mr. Chief Fire Officer, good morning to you. These are the questions your people are asking. Are you due for retirement? If it is yes, please pack your bag and go home. Don't ask for extension. Because if you do, we will find out. We will mention it here. So if you are due for retirement, please pack your bag nicely and go. Mr. Controller General Immigration Service, Abdul Malik Kwekubako wrote this as headline in March 2022. Are you due for retirement? Yes, you are due. Did you get extension? Yes, you did. But honorable thing, pack your bag and go. Colonel Damwa is gone. Reverend Amishadai, GRA, are you due for retirement? Yes, pack your bag and go. And did you know that all the commissioners at the GRA, all the commissioners at GRA, if the officers lie that I'm lying, they are due for retirement. Commissioner General of the Customs is due for retirement. Commissioner of Customs due for retirement. Commissioner, SSD, their contracts have all expired. So why have you targeted Colonel Damwa? And when we spoke about Colonel Damwa, it was a genuine concern. So we are saying that if Colonel Damwa can go, all the others can go. The commissioner for SSD, for example, has never had an appointment letter from Public Services Commission. That's what the officers are saying. And they say it is because there's a question of a fake certificate in the mix. So the questions will come. I will continue asking. I say, hashtag is let the retirees go. And I will stay on this until all of them honorably pack their bag. Yesterday, I'm told that a private institution, one retiree was there. When we were talking about NADMO, was busy talking. Hey, the president has he has disappointed the young people. When I mentioned let the retirees go, she got up and she didn't come back to work again. The fire will reach everybody. So I'm saying that if you are due, the bosses at GRA, fire service, immigration, if you are due, and if you are the police, and you are due for retirement, don't worry yourself going to ask for extension. Please pack your bag and go. Johnnie, take me to the civil service, the letter there. Somebody is asking for contract extension. Let the retirees go. Now, head of civil service, and I'll keep dropping the letters one by one. 30th December 2021, that's the date. It says, request for a 2-year post-retirement contract extension. Dr. Mrs. Faustina Esando Yedu, Director, Department of Community Development. Please reference your letter number SCR/EA264/60/01 dated 9th November 2021, the subject above. 2. Approval is hereby conveyed for a 2-year extension of contract appointment for Dr. Mrs. Faustina Esando Yedu, Director of the Department of Community Development. The contract appointment shall commence on 7 January 2022 and terminate on the 6th of January 2024, just in time for the change of government, whether it's MPP, NDC, I don't know. But this is on the eve of when the new government, as the new government will come, the 9th. Please note that this approval is subject to the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development receipt of the appropriate financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance in accordance with Circular BD dated 4th November 2030. Kindly pursue necessary action to give effect to this decision. Nana K. Ejekum Jamina, head of civil service. Yesterday, I showed you a letter that this same man has signed. So, this is it. There are young people who have qualified. They are looking for entry points within the civil service. They are not getting. There are people who have worked 60 years. They have reached the age of 60 years. We as a country decided that at 60, you have served your nation well, go home and rest, play with your children and grandchildren. In our case, we say, no, we want extension. Extension to do what? Because the letter I showed you from the Ministry of Finance says, we will not give contract extension. And it was in the budget for 2022. We will not give contract extension unless the person has a special skill that nobody else has. So now, why don't we see the special skill take effect in these letters that I've been reading to you? If you yourself, per your budget, per cabinet decision, presented to Parliament, agreed and approved, say that you will not give contract extension unless the person has a certain special skill that nobody else has. When you write the letters, you don't put the special skill that the person possesses in it. And yesterday I showed you a letter from Professor Opoku Amankwa to his deputy asking him that he is due for retirement and he should go. Let the retirees go because the morale within staff workforce is beginning to reduce. It breeds corruption, lack of administrative processes. It breaks down their morale. The government should be looking at these issues I'm raising. We should stop creating the old people's brigade. When your young people are hungry, it is heartless. When I was growing up, my grandmother would never eat until we have all eaten. My mother did the same to us. Now you have your mothers and fathers eating when the young people are hungry. Abba. I say I have no problem at all. If an old person is made board chairman or is consulting for, I don't have a problem. Because the wealth of experience that they bring, you can use the wisdom of the old and the strength of the youth to develop the country. But where you have people who are 80 and older than Ghana, fighting with people who are 43 over the same jobs, there's a problem. People who are 80, they are older than Ghana. They have lived close to 100. They are only 20 years away from 100. Somebody who is now 33, 35, they are the ones fighting over the same job. The father who is supposed to protect the child and leave a legacy for him, that's what they call a japadie. Now the japadie is not there. The jabonidie is what is happening. I say let the retirees go. Mr. President, do not give anybody contract extension. And if you are giving contract extensions, please revoke them. I will get to all the other institutions. I have the letters. I will use them. I've spoken about education. I've spoken about immigration. I've spoken about fire service. I've spoken about GRA. I've spoken about civil service. I will get to the judicial service. I will get there. I will get to all the institutions. I'll get to the finance ministry. I'll get to everybody. I have the letters. And it is your own people who bring me the letters because they are tired of you people. When it's time for you to retire, retire honorably and go home. That way, when they see, it's Mr. Michael Insoa, not a former director or general of Ghana Education Service. Is he not consulting? Is anybody fighting him? Is anybody fighting him? Is anybody fighting? Say it is your own people who bring the letters to me. Your own people, they bring it to me. And they have brought it already. So if you are covering your flanks, we have them already. Don't waste your time. We started this work at the beginning of the year. So we are now in the what? In the 9th month. Can you imagine how much we have gathered? And I was waiting for this time because I knew that some people will be due and they will be asking for extensions. True. They're asking for it. If you do PIM and you ask for it, I'll show it. PIM, you ask, I show. PIM, you ask, I show. The young people must get jobs to do in this country. That is the only way we can build this country. Because when we go to church and they say, come and appeal for funds, they are sowing seed. It is the young people. They don't say, oh, you're a small boy, like another matter, the OSP, you're a small boy, so you bring 2 cedis. And then they say, you're a big man, bring 10 cedis. They mention the figure and they look at who will come. So I beg you, if you are old, you are due for retirement, please go. Let the retirees go and let the young grow. Good morning.